And if I'm not wrong, they're almost about to run out of those as well. So Gremlin Storm, this position is not worth it at all. As soon as the smoke fades away, their lifeline as well will probably fade away. But TDK, they're catching a little bit of return fire.
Let's see though, DRS, they will have a heavy advantage against the opposition, the team right behind them. Are the lads from the Warriors, the team in front, the players of Elementrix waiting for them. Killer Whitey is going to smoke up on this slope right in front so he can crawl towards the summit of this hill. One more smoke lobbed up on the high ground. Just looking for opening the players of DRS. Kind of a straight up 2v2 situation between Rules and Killer and the rest of the players of DE Warriors. But East is going to be knocked out with a very well-timed nade right there. And the last player remaining is going to get pushed upon Doc, a 1v3 before him. Does have one, in fact, a few smokes that he can play around. The players of DRS down to around 50% HP. Two of them. Rules is the only healthy man still remaining. And Doc, he's going to peek out from behind the smoke, runs towards the buggy for a little bit of extra cover, but it is too difficult to survive in a situation like this. And there is the finish. And the elimination also being handed to the players of DE Warriors. DRS, they prevail.
They indeed do prevail. But the next circle, again, just keeps on centering on up. A little bit, of course, tilted on the left side. Gremlin Storm barely on the edge. TDK with two players not inside the circle. And Gremlin Storm will probably have a clear line of sight as soon as TDK starts to move in. And yes, they do. We do see the shots taken. TDK, they're quite exposed, but TDK, they have no other option left. They will need to try and make this happen. Murado is going to be quite delicate on the Miramar, but he's still booking it straight inside the circle for a better spot. Jane tried to provide the cover fire, and Jane was pretty much the sacrificial lamb who tried to gather all the attention onto himself, and he got taken down doing so, which is completely fine. TDK at this point, they're playing for the positioning, not for the elimination points, not for the man advantage. DRS, Delta as being the casualty. Precious from the side of Elementrix is the only man in the clotheslines of DRS to be taken care of. But DRS, they cannot take the fight to the players of Elementrix just yet. If they do, they will need to go on a high ground. And there's a big chance as soon as you do get on that high ground, you might get shot somewhere around you. So you do not want that third-party situation onto yourself. As you have Gremlin Storm, again, with all the four players, they're somehow able to stay alive. But have you looked at their left lines? It's completely stacked up with the teams, and Seal is on the left. And unfortunately for them, Seal also has a high ground on top of them, so Seal should have a lot of line of sight on the players of Gremlin Storm.
Let's see how this is going to play out. As you mentioned, the position of Seal Esport, I think a few moments ago, even on the feed, we did see one of the players from the side of DRS actually being finished off by a nade from Seal Esport, but Zeol's nade towards the players of Dax. Can he convert it? Yes! Who? Just the precision of utility being displayed by the players of IHC, but let's see. Spike, he's going to lob a nade of his own, completely missing the mark. An opportunity, no opportunities right there.
Inside the circle, the complete right lines is stacked up with a lot of teams. As the circle keeps on shifting hard on the left side over and over again, and the teams on the right are being left with completely screwed up. Wizzy's club, all the four players continue to dominate the edge, and they realize they have a big position where they can try and edge a lot of teams. And this is their time to try and wrap up a lot of elimination points too.
Quantum Rage, Tantanatan, also
clip after clip being committed towards that edge of the ridge. Gremlin Storm in a phenomenal position to close out this game, even though they sit there with a numbers disadvantage. They have an opportunity as one more player from the side of Seal Esport is going to be dropped out. Oh no! Casey, what are you doing out in the open? So lucky that the shots did not connect, but finally I think he's going to be dropped to his knees as well. And the last player from the side of Seal Esports runs out in the open. Lucifer, he will have to channel his inner demon if he wants to win. But let's be honest, that's not going to happen. It's 2v1, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean...
An end.
All I can say is that those two teams tried to fight for the supremacy, in which Gremlin Storm took the cake this time. 8 eliminations and 23 points in total, as they've got the damage number off 17-16. A decent amount of damage numbers wrapped up, but I gotta say one thing, IT as well, we're doing really good. Legend on either side, though, I feel like he took a little bit too much time, and even I mentioned this during the cast. If he takes a bit too long, it'll only be a matter of seconds when he gets spotted out and gets taken out, and that's what exactly happened right after.
Yeah, I think the moment you said it is when he got shot, so maybe you are the one who gave up his position?
Yeah, I have like a direct connection with the players, guys, somehow.
So, the moral of the story is... well, how did there was a saying, you miss 100% of the shots you never take. Well, and after that you get shot in the face as well. So it is going to be quite important to start shooting towards your opponent once you realize that both of them are in front of you. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a very short break, so just stay tuned, keep watching. We'll be back after this. Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the PMPL South Asia Fall Season of 2022, brought to you by the Oppo F21 Pro. This is Super Johnny, joined by Necro alongside with me. 4 games done and dusted. Gremlin Storm finally walking away with the win in the previous match, but that does not really help their overall ranking as of now. They will have to be a little bit more consistent for us to see a significant improvement, although the points that they have earned might just be enough to keep them in the top 16 as far as the overall league rankings are concerned, because that is one place where Gremlin Storm do have a chance of making it to the finals, and hopefully in the finals they will be doing a little bit better. But we do also have the MVP of this particular game, Rowdy, doing pretty well for himself. 5 eliminations secured, 745 damage dished out with a 25-minute survival time. So overall, a very well played matchup from Gremlin Storm. And especially, I think the last 2 players surviving were doing pretty great with the way they held on to their position and delayed the push from Seal Esports.
They, in fact, did. With 25, as you mentioned, 25-27 survival time. I mean, Gremlin Storm, overall, as I mentioned, they were doing a really phenomenal job, able to keep their man number up till the end. And as soon as they realized now, okay, they're doing pretty good, it's time for them to start wrapping up those elimination points. That's what they exactly did. Realizing the exact moment and working on it and realizing that now is the time to do it. That's what the players of Gremlin Storm did perfectly. On the other hand, you have the players of Seal as well. Seal, I would say in week 3, it definitely does seem like a little bit that they have woken up, right?
I mean, yeah, sort of. Cause
at least in the first day.
At least in the first day, yeah, because I was just going to mention, like, they still lost a 2v3 situation out there in the previous game, and it looked like they did have utility as well on them. But it was just one game, and it is, as you mentioned, the first day itself. There will be multiple opportunities for the teams. There are 4 more days remaining and 1 match more remaining for today, so today is still not done. But Looking at the match summary, we do have Rowdy finishing first in terms of the highest damage and also the highest elimination. DRS Killer YT having a pretty phenomenal day today, I have to say. 3 eliminations in this game as well. Previous 2 games, he was looking very, very good. DRS, although they did miss out on their hat trick for the day, they still had a pretty decent run in this particular match as well. So I think it's going to be quite difficult to take them off the leaderboard this week around. Looking quite solid as well. Look at that, 7 points from this game. But the winners of the match are going to be the players from Gremlin Storm, 23 points secured. Seal Esports walking away 20 points due to those 8 eliminations that they had. Then there is IHC with 14 and Wizards Club doing quite well as well with 11 points to their name.
I mean, Wizzy's Club, yeah, even Wizzy's Club, yeah, this is another team we need to really focus on, right, Johnny? Because Wizzy's Club is another one of those teams, once they have the circle gracing them in those final moments, they do a pretty good job of capitalizing on that. And Wizzy's Club did exactly so. Wizzy's Club, Elementrix, and Gremlin Storm, these teams do really good when they find themselves in the circle and when they find themselves in the righteous opportunity. But again, it's kind of playing the game on the easy mode, though. The other teams who need to breach inside the circle, on the other hand, who need to fight their way in, which were the players of IHC, who were battling their way constantly. As soon as they got out of one battle, they got it stuck into another one, and it just kept on going right back and forth all the time. And IHC, it seemed like they were playing the game in super hard mode.
I mean, but still, we already did talk about this earlier in the day. Why would you want to make things more difficult for yourself when there is an easier way out?
How?
I mean, Gremlin Storm played it quite perfectly. Prioritize the zone, protect yourself, stay alive till the end.
But do you think IHC is going to play like that, though?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Why do you want to make things more difficult for yourself?
Dude, IHC literally...
Play with one hand then.
I mean, the thing is that IHC is so aggressive that I understand why they play like that, because I'm an aggressive player myself. So I feel like our mentalities kind of sync up.
The mechanics don't, though.
The mechanics don't. The mechanics don't. That is the
they
only
are
thing
better
that
than
is
us.
separating me. Of course, of course.
Yeah,
they're
that's
better.
the only thing stopping you from being a member of IHC, right?
Sure, man.
But we do have the overall rankings. And DRS, as we have talked about them, a very wonderful day for them. 56 points, still sitting on the first position. But 2 teams that are done with their matches of the day are DE Warriors and Wizards Club. So there's going to be a drop. We did see Gremlin Storm take a massive, massive jump on the overall rankings. 9 positions gained with a single match. So hopefully we see them finish in the top 5. It is going to be very important for Gremlin Storm to make it into the top 5 if they want to protect themselves from elimination as far as the overall leaderboard is considered. Because I'm just waiting for the league standings at this point. Godlike Stalwart, 23 points on the 11th position. Elementrix on the 13th. Dax, I'm pretty sure Dax are going to bounce up as well. They somehow do manage to get those placement points consistently every single game. But going into the last game of the day, the last map played on Erangel, Group A is not going to be playing. So, Necro, what is your prediction going to be for this one?
I mean, Group A consists of some pretty solid team, and I mean, to start it off, of course, DE Warriors, Venom Legends, Wizzy's Club, and even T2K. Now, Wizzy's Club, honestly, I would say it seemed like they were finally catching a little bit of pace inside this tournament, right? I mean, inside at least the day 1, as they did finish the previous game quite well. Maybe the momentum could have carried on forward, but these groups, man, they always put a full stop to that momentum, and that's what exactly is going to happen right now as well. Wizzy's Club are going to be thrown outside for the last game. They are going to be given a little bit of time off. They can sit back, relax, chill, have their coffees, have their popcorns, drink some water, actually. This is my suggestion for the chat as well. Sit back and relax, ladies and gentlemen, because the last game is going to be action-packed as well. Considering DE Warriors is not in here and Skylights Gaming is back inside the action, including Raw, A1 Esports in 1952. You want to know what I'm going to go with, Johnny?
What?
You know I like to play with danger. I'm going to go with A1 Esports. Let's go. Lock it in.
Mine is simple. I'll go with Godlike Stalwart again.
That's just lame. That's just lame. Come on, Johnny.
You know,
I mean,
it's the same thing I did last week. I'm just going to keep going with the team until that team wins, and then I switch to the next one.
Johnny, I'm not going to lie. You actually remind me of a professor. I was cool. Dude, you look perfectly like a professor. If you just hold a couple of books in your hands right now,
Yeah, you were supposed to bring me my books today.
I forgot, man. All right. Not too sharp with my memory, man. Sometimes, as humans, we forget. I literally had them removed
Yeah.
outside the closet as well, but I just forgot. Yeah.
It's quite similar to the players of IHC checking their backs in the previous one, just forgetting about Legend being there.
I don't think so. They saw him in the first place to forget.
Yeah, I wonder what was going through their heads the moment they did, though.
I think so. They pretty much just looked at the left side. They thought that the left lines are completely clear. So they're like, all right, in close
Yeah.
left, we don't see anyone. But they forgot that maybe there can be someone snaking around behind that tree, and that's what Legend was exactly doing. The odds of that are pretty less, but somehow Legend was there.
I mean, it was a good play, though. I mean, it was a good play from Legend because I realized his entire game plan was to let
Yeah.
the players of IHC, because they were completely zoned in into the players of GSM, Gremlin Storm. Gremlin Storm was sandwiched between IHC and the players of Seal Esports. So their intention were let IHC push on the other side. As soon as IHC runs into the line of fire of Seal Esports, they're going to be a player down. I'm going to get that pick, and I'm going to secure a few more from the side of Seal Esports as well. Did not really work out because when you're unlucky, you can't really do quite a lot as well. He did get shot by the players of IHC, and that was it. But still, a valiant effort over there to Legend. So it was quite important to secure those points as well for him. So he did do that for his team. But going into this last game of the day, I think it is going to be a nice reset for everyone, considering again, at the end of the day, you get to play that game on Erangel, the standard map for everyone. And also today, the trajectories have been quite lopsided. Almost every single time we're seeing those trajectories lean towards the southern side of the map and the circle just moving up north. This time, maybe it's going to be a little bit different, but we have been given an opportunity to second guess our predictions. Necro, do you want to change?
Oh, no. I'm going to lock in A1 Esports. Just go with it.
All right.
A1
Let's go.
Esports.
God like
I believe.
stalwart.
God like stalwart. All right. Let's see, man. Let's see what you got. All right, Johnny. A1 Esports is back in action, and I think that break might have just helped him a little bit, because if you remember, last time as well, I picked up A1 Esports right after that break. I thought that maybe that break will give them a little bit of chance, a little bit of time to, gather their mentality back. Actually, that's not exactly what I thought. I completely gambled and I guessed A1. But yeah, but that can be a little mentality behind it as well.
Yeah.
A little bit of break can definitely help these players to just take their mental back from the game and try and reset it. As you said, have a mental reset after those games, and a little break can definitely help that.
I mean, definitely. We have talked about this. Every single time you get a few days off from the tournament, you need to go back and do those WOD reviews. Just try and figure out what is going wrong, whether the 4v4 is where you're lacking, whether the rotation, the early game clash, whatever it is. Try and figure out a way out of it. I think Venom Legends have been quite adaptable. We have seen improvement from Venom Legends time and time again. They've been getting better every single week. One thing that never changes is the fact that Venom Legends are always, just like Godlike Stalwart, that is one of those teams where you can expect them to start off really, really slow. But they do pick up the momentum during the later days of the tournament, the later days of the week. So Venom Legends is one of those teams that I do expect an improvement and a good performance from this week as well. But A1 Esport, I think it is going to be very, very important that they literally play to the best, not even to their abilities, but of the lobby. They have to somehow finish in the top 3 if they want to comfortably make it into the top 16 now. Because with how Gremlin Storm are playing, remember where we talked about, all right, 2 slots from the top 16 are up for grabs. Well, if Gremlin Storm play like they did in the previous match, then you can just make that 1 slot. And Dax are also looking pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie, but going with A1 Esports is quite a tough choice. I'm not saying that this team, of course, this team is not that good of a team. No, these are not my wordings. When I say it's quite a tough choice, what I'm saying, considering their run today with how they've been playing, picking them up is definitely quite tough. But as I said, I'm hoping that break has helped them enough to get their mental back in the game again. It has helped them reset it pretty well. And I want to see a fresh start once again inside this final game. If you do end things on a great note, there's a big chance tomorrow you'll kick things off on a great note.
Let's see though.
Ooh.
Early
Pistol.
collision, Seal Esport against Skylight Gaming. Let's see how this is gonna go. Imagine if in a game, Seal and Skylight
Let's
Gaming
go.
both are playing. Alrighty!
Military
Save the
circle,
best for
let's
last.
go! I love it. I love it.
The best game in the variant. Look at the players of TRZ. They've decided mid-drop that they want to go to the military island, where the players of Elementrix are already going to be there.
Well, I mean, it's completely fine. You know, Elementrix can have that. There's still a decent amount of compounds surrounding the military base that they can try and loot and still have enough amount of loot and not be on the med. I just lost my words seeing that battle map text. The player was so unknown to the fact that someone might just be holding that staircase, and that's what exactly happened. Joker, sir, an easy elimination point flowing just in his pockets. As you said, today, the plane fly paths have been quite interesting. And this is one of those completely one-sided plane fly path, and that's why we're witnessing a lot of brawls right off the bat. And considering the fact that the circle as well is shifted down south, all the teams that are currently on the edges of the map, they don't want to go towards their drop locations. For example, Georgia Pool, even Rozok, they just want to get some decent amount of loot right off the bat, some basic loot, and start making their way towards military base, because we know how tough it is to breach inside military circle once the time is gone.
Ooh, 1952, an early push towards the military island. And with the way they are moving, I think they read this perfectly as well, because every single time a circle like this is going to be there, you're going to see godlike Stalwart just instantly go towards the bridge area and just try and camp that position, just see if anyone is going to approach the bridge willy-nilly and get a few extra pickups. But at this point, I think these teams have been playing each other for 3 weeks. Everyone knows what godlike Stalwart is going to do, so everyone is going to be prepared for it. We've seen DRS just force fight against godlike Stalwart in the similar spot again and again. I think they're going to try and back off now as well, realizing that even the opposition is aware of their moves.
Speak of the opposition being aware of the moves, I mean, TRZ right now in the outskirts of the military base, and I'm pretty sure they don't even have a single gun in their hands. They are making their way towards those small compounds, but at this point, it's too late. A lot of teams are already inside military base, and a team like TRZ 1952, they're not going to have their hands on a lot of loot around it. A1 Esports Gajor has a DBS in the hands, and that's not a gun you want to mess around with, but even Demo has a double-barrel shotgun in the hands, and look at Sinister! He tried to ram his vehicle straight up onto Demo. Uzi being whipped out, a lot of shots taken. But those shots are not going to connect. Of course, SMGs sometimes are not way too reliable. They are completely reliable in the up close, of course. Unless if it's UMP, then it's good, even at mid-range. But he had an Uzi, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, but look at that. Precious from the side of Elementrix taking care of Raw Official, getting a pickup. Not losing anything. And IHC Demo. Getting demolished in a few moments. Oh, he's still surviving. Finally goes down. Slipknot not letting the opposition slip away. And Sus is going to secure that pick. IHC down to a 3-player roster towards Ferry Pier. And what I like about this particular match is it's been 4 minutes and almost every single team is already looking to cross that military bridge. There are 4 teams right now that are outside the zone. All right, 5 including Janmara, who, by the way, are going for a water rotation from the right-hand side of the map. But everyone else is on the military island. IHC, they tried to cross over, did not work out. They're going to look for another direction on the pathway that's going to be laid out for them. On the other side, A1 and B, Koha is going to be dropped by the players of Elementrix, and Orange is just going to run the opposition over with his vehicle.
A1 and B, not a good start. Already losing out on a player. But it's okay. They still have 3 more players to try and pull something off. Definitely an okay start, I would say. Koa was the casualty, of course. But they still have good players like Sinister, Hitman, Gajor that can try and flip things around. With a 3-man squad, of course, now the approach from the side of A1 Esports is going to be even more passive and even more safe. But what does happen over here? Slipknot stops in a wrong spot and gets greeted and gets welcomed by the players of TRZ. He got treated in quite a bad way, of course. But TRZ, that's the free elimination point. That just flew right in their courts, and they are going to completely welcome that. A1 Esports, on the other hand, they're trying to breach inside the compound of TRZ, and one player's going to get knocked out. As A1 Esports, they're going to try to breach even on the second player. Matt Cat's going to be the only man in the clotheslines, and it's all up to him to try and defend it down. Kajor with the DPS will probably try to put the full stop to the fairy tale of TRZ inside this one. But is he going to be able to? He's the only man in the clotheslines. A1 Esports clearly do have a big man advantage, but maybe not anymore. That nade is placed quite perfectly, and this nade from the side of Hitman will neutralize things.
Oh! He survives!
Barely
Barely survives with a
What?
sliver of HP. And look at how brilliant this is. TRZ, they've made a mistake over here. The other two players are quite far away from Mad Cat. So the opportunity to finish A1 Esport is not going to be there. Hitman will get 2 easy revives.
And they don't even
For
have
nothing.
guns.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I told you, Johnny, it's too late. It's way too late. TRZ will not even get their hands on the gun. They are definitely going to be in a loot deficit, big time. These are free elimination points for the players of A1NB to try and wrap up. If they do even spot out this crawling snake in the grass, the position should pretty much be given away. Mamba is still up and alive. But how are TRZ even going to survive at this point? This game has to be a GG go next. Oh, look at this. Pin drop silence from Giant Mara. Just hoping that the players of godlike Stalwart don't spot him. Just hoping that Stalwart Esports don't look right underneath them. But Stalwart Esports, they know there's something around them. They're just not ready to let it go like that. They know there is someone, there is a little threat lingering around. The spidey senses are definitely tingling, but they don't exactly know where the enemy is.
Basically, Predator simulation at this point. God like Stalwart are just trying to see where the players of Jan Mara went. Oh, that has to be unlucky. That has to be extremely unlucky for the players of DRS. From the distance, the boat getting blown up. 3 players are out. Look at that.
Now they're raising each other inside the water.
Where are they gonna go?
It's funny. Oh boy, and even the observers just showing them, oh, it's assault on the wounds, man.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
Titanic.
I haven't seen Titanic.
Alright, they swim away, all of them.
Oh, the music you're saying, the meme music. The meme music. Oh, okay.
What do you mean a meme music? It was a blockbuster movie.
Dude, I haven't seen Titanic, man. I know a lot of people are going to be, are you for real? You didn't see Titanic?
Oh my.
Yeah, guys, I didn't, man. I'm too big of a nerd, man. I can't. I didn't see it, guys. I'm sorry. I know I've let a lot of people down right now, but I haven't seen Titanic. Yeah. Not just that, I haven't even seen Harry Potter, but that's a story for another time. This time, a lot of teams who are trying to get the water rotation down, they're being punished. Another one of those is going to be the players of godlike Stalwart as the complete boat gets blown up. Both those players are knocked out now.
Necro, I have a question. What was Godlike Stalwart doing there in the first place, though? Weren't they right above the players of Jad Mara? A massive blunder coming in from STE. Yeah. Something's happened to the game now. This game is insane.
I mean, we saw that great escape of Demo, and then later on, none of these teams are able to escape anything.
Yeah. You know what? Demo also did not make it.
Yeah,
he was
even he
taken
got
out.
caught. Even he got caught. Oh, man. There's
No worries,
nowhere
last
to
game of
go.
the day.
There's nowhere to go. You are being
Godlike
surrounded from all the sides. Oh! Orange! Those shots are nasty! Those shots connect, and Gremlin Storm lose out on a player. But not completely. Still the player's down. He should be receiving a helping hand soon.
What a name from Orange right there from Elementrix. But look at that, Jan Mara making Godlike Stalwart pay for what they basically did to the players of DRS. So, last player, I believe, from the side of Godlike Stalwart remaining. And it's not going to be an easy game for them. But Elementrix now, with Orange just relaying the information to Precious that there are 4 lads right on top of you. Precious is now going to try and hold his ground. Wait for the other players to drop down, and then maybe along with his teammates, he can get a few extra points. But look at that. All right, Godlike Stalwart, they have 2 players surviving. Pika and Scry, but since the decision was made to drop down from this cliff, I think the rest of the game is just going to be a very painful match for them. Look at where the zone is going to move, and it is going to go towards nowhere. Noi!
The circle shifts completely down south. Now, teams like Deadeye Skies will need to be really quick on their feet. Even Seal, they're just going to straight up start a book inside the circle. I told you, man, once the time is gone, it's really tough to breach inside the military base or military island. It's just so difficult. Because now you're going to be educated by a lot of teams. Gremlin Storm over here, he doesn't even have a helmet available. Dictator's helmet got picked off with those mini shots. Things are looking quite grim for a lot of teams. Especially teams like Deadeye's Guys and Seal, who are going to be quite late to make it on the island. And soon enough, these teams are going to fight amongst each other as well, where this fight sure to gather a lot of attention around him. Maptex Esports and Dax, where the players of Maptex have found the opening. Apex has found one, instantly shuts him down. ParaGD is the only man in the clotheslines, but ParaGD has no intentions of taking the fight to them.
Well, let's see. Oh, God. Quite an interesting position. Apex, he's just jump punching his way. One container behind the other. A lot of bodies in the water is something that I'm worried about right now, because literally one individual needs to get to the shoreline, and if he knows there's another team behind him, he's just going to destroy all of them alone. Talk about destruction, and Godlike Stalwart show up. A1 Esport avoiding the collision quite nicely. In fact, Sinister getting a lot of information from that play. Now Pika should be extremely careful, as he does manage to get close to the ridge. Goes for a nade as well. Almost perfect, but no secured.
It was kind of close, but I mean, he did catch a little hit, but it's okay. A1 Esports, they're really spread out, though, and this is something I'm not going to be a big fan of. Elementrix against the players of IT. Sanchir getting picked off all by himself. A man who was quite lonely around the rocks. He got picked off this time, and now IHC, they're looking for revenge. As Elementrix, they're going to lose out on Orange, and instant confirmation will flow it up as well. A1 Esports, the separation might just play against him, but if this is played perfectly, if the information is being carried over perfectly, then things can definitely be quite different. As I mentioned, it can be a good thing or a bad thing. If A1 Esports lose out on even one player, the tables are going to be flipped against him. And the odds will be stacked with the players of Godlike Stalwart. All of this depends on the upcoming circle. And where is the circle going to form towards? It's going to shift up north this time. Not a lot of teams are in the circle. A lot of teams, though, in the outskirts.
Gremlin Storm, having taken control of the observatory, have a wonderful opportunity to clear their backlines, pick off Elementrix, IHC, Skylight Gaming coming in from the distance. But I feel Jan Mara, for now, have the most wonderful position inside of this match. But look at this. Paragod hiding inside the container. Ooh, just feeling paranoid, I guess, at this moment, as he did hear the footsteps of the lads from Maptex around him. Just waiting for his opportunity to peek and try and take them out, but he has to be extremely careful. Does not have his teammates around him, so it's not going to be an easy job for him to finish off these 3 players alone. Apex runs the other way, manages to avoid getting shot at just by blind luck. Had he stepped in front of that container, he would have been taken out instantly, but Maptex, I think, now have decided to not allow Seal Esport onto the land. Just finish them off while it's a much easier job for them to shoot at Seal Esport while they are in water.
Shots are taken, and a decent amount of them connect to. The bullets of pain are definitely shredding them apart, but they're not finding their mark perfectly. The M4 definitely seems caught unstable, but Leo manages to find that knock this time. As Turulov, he peeks out even for a bit, and those shots are just going to cut off his head right away. Leo, the precision is definitely quite nice. But I don't think so he's going to be able to find the second one, because now they do realize the warning's being given away. If you peek out once more, your head will be cut off once again. And right now, the players of Maptex Esports obviously have the better spot in that fight, so you do not want to challenge a team that has a better spot, that has the high ground against you. And look at the players of Stalwart Esports. Now they're just going to peek out. Nade's being tossed in. Delta catches a bit of that nade, but not enough. Still almost on full HP. Delta's just waiting for the players of Godlike Stalwart to overstep themselves, and that might just happen soon. And another nade's being tossed in, but not exactly on the mark. Same thing from the side of DRS. Godlike Stalwart. The threat's quite close. The Molotov placed perfectly. But Scry's not going to catch any sort of fire. But playing this sort of a low ground situation, I'm not sure if this is a good idea or not. Getting back on top should be a little difficult. But it's still quite early. It's not too late inside the game, so they can try and make their way back inside from the backside of DRS. Before that, they will need to try and eliminate the existence of DRS, and it's going to be next to impossible to do so.
That timing on the nade, the damage, the heal coming in right in the nick of time, everything so perfectly done over there. DRS, I mean, the nades were perfect, but the timing on that first aid, quite lucky, the players of Godlike Stalwart. But let's see, Seal Esport on our screen. Zeke and Lucifer still here, hiding inside this warehouse, and finally the zone is going to abandon them completely. So being forced to take a fight against the players of Maptex. And let's not forget the players of DE who are still right next to them. DRZ, Rare on the other side, destroyed by his by a nade from Raw Esport, actually. Raw Official was where the nade came from.
Man.
Yeah, I just thought he got naded by his own teammate, but then he was the last player surviving, so had to look at the logo right there. The Reds look quite similar.
Yeah, they do. But speak of that, and now Seal. They are knocking on the doors of Maptex Esports, and they've already opened the door as well. Utility is being tossed from their side. Don't know what was that underhand Molly doing, though. Wanted to maybe toss it right on the other side of that compound wall, but was not able to successfully do so. Seal, they're successfully, of course, able to just breach inside. Maptex, they're crumbling down one after the other. They're getting dismantled. As Seal, the march continues for them, and Baron is going to be the only man alive.
Last player surviving for the team, and it is going to be quite a difficult situation for him to survive from the Rare. Seal Esport closing in front of him are Jay and Mara. Towards his right are going to be the players of DE. Baron, nowhere left to go. And I think he's just waiting for his inevitable demise, but Zeke is going to run in, not aware of the opposition, hiding in the room right next door. And it is going to be an easy finish for Baron. Plus, he gets the upgrade of the weapon that Zeke has. Lucifer, he better be prepared for this. Now, a 1v1 between the two players.
Deadeye's guys, all the 4 players, but don't have the positional advantage. John Mara, they have a big chance to try and hold them off at bay here. John Mara can hold off 2 teams at the same time. Seal and Deadeye's guys. Maptex Esports' Baron is taken down way too low, so Lucifer should not struggle and cutting his HP off. On the other hand, Gunnar spotting out the player of DRS. Gante has no clue where the shots are coming from. The suppressor is going to play perfectly in his favor. And the shots were taking way too long range as well. So yeah, makes a lot of sense. Has no clue where the shots are coming from at the same time. Nate Barach raining inside the house as Lucifer charges on. And Lucifer should put a full stop, but no, somehow he messes it up. What?
What
He moved
was
outside. He moved outside the bathroom, chucked the nade in the bathroom. Lucifer got trapped in there. And that was it. What? They exchanged the positions.
Is this a professional match, or am I watching like the most hilarious moments of PUBG Mobile?
Maybe.
There can't be so many insane moments in one game, Necro. It's just one game. We saw DRS getting destroyed in a boat. God like Stalwart go to the same boat, they get destroyed. And now this in the same match. But on the other side of things, ladies and gentlemen, Janmata, go ahead and show Deadeye's guys the exit from this game. So we're down to the top 8 teams, 19 players still alive.
Still a lot of people alive, though, as the circle, of course, is shifted out in the open. But that was one of the most weirdest moments, one of the most weirdest encounters I've witnessed, and my brain is still not able to wrap around that.
Yeah, I'm just going to laugh every single time I think about it. Because as he said, he ran out of the room, lobbed the nade right behind him, and
the enemy
was loose.
The enemy who charged in, he got trapped in that room and was not able to move out in time.
What was he shooting at? There was no one there.
Okay, let's focus on the game. All right, Elementrix. Oh, they're being greeted by the players of Gremlin Storm. Rowdy playing a dirty play here. He's taken down way too low himself. Oh, he blows the Weakle up. That's a smart choice. Rowdy, he realized the HP is not favoring him, stays behind the tree, and blows the Weakle up. Oh, some 200 IQ play right there from the side of Rowdy. Played that perfectly. The decision-making, saving his life, and keeping the banner of Gremlin Storm alive for a little bit more inside the game. A1 Esports, on the other hand, though, the players in the open, all by himself. A Sinister is being knocked out, and he's also catching a lot of bullets on himself. Assassin now from the side of High Voltage is going to be the only man up and alive. At this point in time, the teams of solo players alive, it's going to be so tough for them to try and out-survive the other teams. And A1 Esports will be taking down. The exact same thing happens with the players of Gremlin Storm. These solo players are not able to stay alive because this circle is way too out in the open.
Oh, this is going to be between 1952 and the players of Janmata. High Voltage, Malik is going to be the last player standing, but it looks like Janmata, they have tasted blood and they want to hunt these lads down. So it will be a final 3v3 situation between 1952 and Janmata. And unless these two teams fight amongst themselves already, then High Voltage is going to make a comeback in this game. Let's see top 3 teams remaining. 8 players still alive. Snipe, he's trying to close in on the last known location of Malik. So you can go for a few nades on that particular spot, try and see if you can finish off the individuals. Praveen taking a few more shots from Snipe YT. No fear. All right, has gotten himself in a position from where lobbing utility towards 1952 also won't be a lot of trouble for him.
High Voltage right now, though, is currently the main target for Snipe. And even 1952, they're getting picked off by Vadu. All he needs to do is just connect that spam, and so far he's able to find at least 1 or 2 bullets being connected. 1952, they have quite a big spread within themselves. And if the player who's spread out, the player who's on the flank, if he strikes in and even finds 1 knockout, that's going to be such a big glimmer of hope for the players of 1952 inside this game to try and make a potential comeback in a better spot. Dante compromised, instantly shut down. The Weakle play was definitely not too good. As the Weakle kept on moving in the front, he just jumped outside a moving vehicle. Forgot to stop it completely, so had no cover in the end, was completely exposed out in the open. And Dante got taken down. Giant Mara, the team which has the most amount of men alive in these final moments, and it's the top 3 teams alive. 3 teams fighting for the supremacy, from which 1952 is one of them. High Voltage is the biggest threat and a big thorn in the way of Giant Water to try and secure this chicken dinner. But if that solo player strikes and surprises the players of Giant Mara, this can be a complete different outcome. But I love the way Giant Mara are playing. No Fear's eyes are just pinned on that solo player of 1952.
Oh, let's see. It's going to be quite intense between the lads. Oh! The name says Pew Pew, and Pew Pew, he goes on the players of Giant Mara, one after the other.
My God.
1952
Spoiled.
getting two important picks. Snipe YT and No Fear down on their knees. Entry is going to go for the last one as well as Wadu is trying to fight from behind the smokes, and Pew Pew is going to be taken out. It's down to a 1v1 between the two players of Giant Mara and 1952, and that just hands the entire advantage of the game into the hands of High Voltage, Malik and Praveen. They have the numbers. They can win this game, but Wadu, he gets the opportunity to go for a revive.
And he will probably do so as well. Going for the revive is probably the best thing they can do because they were the only team who had the man advantage, and they get the fallen player back up. Johnny, the man advantage is back inside the game. Giant Mara, the stars are aligned once again. And it's their time to put on a stellar performance. High Voltage, though, with the amount of time that is being bought, they have spread themselves quite perfectly.
1v2, v3 situation. Giant Mara bringing themselves back from what seemed like a guaranteed exit on the third position, but no.
Yeah.
The players quite resilient, still managing to survive. It's going to be up to Malik. He has to lob a perfect nade to drop Snipe and Wadu at the same time. Start shooting, and finally he does. But Wadu coming in with a nice trade. Swinging the advantage again towards the favor of Giant Mara. Not losing Snipe in that particular scenario as well. Still a 2v1v1 situation with Snipe on his knees. Praveen, what can he do in a situation like this? Does not have that much HP on him as well. Entry is waiting for one of the players from the side of Giant Mara to get eliminated for sure before he does anything.
I think so 1952 is going to win this. I think so 1952 should have this one in the pocket. Even though they have the man disadvantage.
Yeah.
Entry currently is inside the circle.
Yeah.
Including Praveen.